Would you like powerful, impressive, musical bass, but you've got nowhere to put large speakers or subwoofers? Gramophone to the rescue. Hi, I'm Joe, and today we'll talk about one of my favorite topics, subwoofers, more specifically, in-wall subwoofers, and even more specifically, the SVS 3000 in-wall subwoofers, which we've recently installed here in the loft area at the Timonium, Maryland store. So let's just talk in general terms about subwoofer benefits. You'll notice if you listen to, let's say, a compact bookshelf speaker from almost any reputable vendor, and then listen to that vendor's top-of-the-line speaker, one of the biggest differences typically is much more impressive bass out of the top-of-the-line versus the modest one. However, that usually means a much physically bigger speaker, and sometimes there's nowhere to put a physically big speaker. So a subwoofer can be beneficial because now you've got a dedicated cabinet just making the low frequency notes, and you don't necessarily need to have a big speaker. So now that we know we don't need a great big speaker to make good bass, we still have to talk about, with a traditional subwoofer, where is that going to go? Sometimes a subwoofer can be concealed, for example, in a cabinet like this one. Other times there's nowhere to put a traditional subwoofer. So one of the things that works out well is Gramophone can install for you an in-wall subwoofer. Clearly, you lose no floor space whatsoever, but you're going to get great bass if it's an SVS 3000. Now, SVS, if you're not familiar with the brand, is one of the most honored subwoofer companies in the entire CE industry. In particular, the SVS 3000 in-wall has won a number of awards. They got a top pick award from one of the leading magazines in our industry. In our short time of working with the SVS 3000 in-wall, it's become one of the most important parts of our custom installation business. Now, the amplifier in an in-wall subwoofer typically does not go in the wall because we don't want to have high power concealed in the wall. That's against code in so many places. So the amp is freestanding, and you can see that in this installation, we've concealed the amp in this beautiful cabinet. Now, this is an amplifier that's based on the well-established SVS Sledge platform. It's an 800-watt amplifier, and it's easily capable of driving twin subwoofers, which you can see we have done here in this installation in our loft area in the Timonium store. This amp is a Class D amplifier, again, 800 watts, so lots of power for supporting those big musical crescendos and the big movie car crash scenes. But it's also got a MOSFET output stage, so you get the benefits of tons of current for big impacts when you need it, but the sweet sound of a MOSFET output stage married together. So this amplifier also has a 50 megahertz Analog Devices DSP engine in it. That means we've got massive processing power, a big-time computer in here. That's really important because massive processing power can help the engineers at SVS digitally to control how the amplifier is interacting with the speaker. In general, an active speaker like that does give you a big engineering advantage. The two get to work together. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. That helps us out. Click that little bell icon to be reminded of our upcoming content. We'd love it if you'll also leave a comment. We promise to respond quickly. So we've removed this impressively heavy grill to show you that SVS has custom designed twin 9-inch drivers per cabinet. So the other speakers got two more of these 9-inch drivers. Now, I say custom drivers because SVS had to engineer a driver that would be big enough to physically generate a lot of movement to create low, powerful, deep bass notes, but slim enough to fit a standard 2x4 stud bay. This thing isn't protruding out several inches from the wall. It's pretty concealed. So the custom nature of the driver, and two of them, is really one of the keys to how you're able to get such great bass. That's because of the custom design that they did. So not only did SVS have to custom design that 9-inch yet relatively shallow driver, but let's talk about the cabinet itself. Remember that no high-end speaker vendor or subwoofer vendor has ever manufactured a speaker out of sheetrock. That would be ridiculous because sheetrock is a very resonant material. Wouldn't work at all when these drivers are pumping out, loud, strong bass notes. So what SVS did was they created a cabinet out of aircraft-grade aluminum. Why did they do that? So that when these drivers are pumping out significant bass, the cabinet is staying stable and inert, and it's not exciting the wall into excessive vibration. Let's talk about installing this wonderful product in your home. If the walls are already up, there may be no easy way to run wires to the subwoofer cabinet, but that's okay because SVS makes a product called the SoundPath Wireless Adapter. We can actually connect these wirelessly if needed. That's really convenient, and you'll still get great bass performance without necessarily having to cut wires in. Remember that with a subwoofer, you can usually move it around the room to get its best performance. Not with an in-wall subwoofer, that won't work. Once it's installed, you're not gonna wanna move it. So, the SVS app is really, really good, and it allows us to digitally, from across the room at your seated listening position, start changing phase and crossover point, even EQ. They were smart enough to put a number of different custom presets in here. So you can have a preset that's perfect for movies when you might want some extra bass bump, but then another one for music where you want a more linear performance. I think you'll find SVS's app to be a terrific addition to this product. To sum up, if you don't have a whole lot of room for big speakers and subwoofers, that's not a problem because we can install the SVS 3000 In-Wall Subwoofer for you. You'll get great bass response without taking up any floor space at all. To learn more about SVS and all of our great brands, visit Gramophone.com and visit Sky by Gramophone, where you'll always get a secure checkout with fast and free shipping straight to your door. We'd love to meet you. If you're anywhere near Maryland, please stop by either here in the Timonium location, where we've got these installed, or in Columbia or Gaithersburg, Maryland. If you're in Timonium, you'll want to check out the Impressive Experience Center, where you will see great products impressively displayed. And don't forget about our Kitchen Design Center in Hunt Valley. We look forward to seeing you soon.